quickly. With floodwaters easing a bit, there are some signs that things are getting back to normal. A few more of them this morning. We're going to tell you what is happening today as we get a better idea of some of the damage done.
New this morning, the Minnesota father accused of leaving his injured children after a car accident has been arrested. The possible charges that he faces.
And Minneapolis PD running short on officers, raising some questions about public safety. What might be behind the shortage? Coming up.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. I'm Megan Newquist.
And hello, everyone. I'm Chris Saggart. Today is Wednesday, July 2nd. Yes, it is July 2nd. Morning Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow has a weather forecast at least part of the day today. It doesn't feel very July 2nd-y.
On the calendar, it's 2nd-y.
2nd-y.
It's made up that word.
I like it. On the calendar, it says July 2nd. On the weather calendar, boy, it feels like May out there, and it's going up pretty much all day today. The difference between today and yesterday, well, first of all, there won't be any heavy rain showers or wind like it was yesterday, blowing the rain sideways, but rather the opposite. The sun will be breaking out during the day. Kind of gray out there right now to start the day. 55 cool degrees, about 10 below the norm. Same thing on the way home, but again, the sun will be out. As the day goes on, the skies will get brighter and brighter, and it will turn out to be a very nice day, Megan. We'll talk more about the weekend. The holiday forecast includes a 90 for the first time this year.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Whether it happens or not is another question.
And it's hard to believe because we're at 55 right now, so we're going to go up, what, 35 degrees?
Yeah,
you know?
by Sunday.
All right, Ken, thank you. All right, let's check in now with Josie Smith. 6:31 is the time. See how our Wednesday morning commute is shaping up.
Well, hi, Megan. It is mostly good news out there. I mean, we've got a few areas that are definitely picking up, but overall, if you're just leaving, it's really not a bad drive out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map. 94 from Maple Grove to downtown Minneapolis. You're seeing lots of green. Same thing with 35E from Eagan into downtown St. Paul. Now, if you're traveling on highways 55 or 149 in Eagan, different story with those lane restrictions are in place, so you can expect some delays. And although that says starting today, it's actually been underway for a couple of days and will continue until this fall. Let's head out to the cameras real quick. Highway 10 eastbound at 35W, one car accident off to the right shoulder and just a small delay behind it. Let's go to the South Metro North 169 at 101. It's getting a little more crowded as you cross the ferry bridge, but still pretty decent out there. And I'll have another update in just a few minutes, Megan.
Josie, sounds good. All right, let's get to our top stories this morning. We begin with Minneapolis police. They are looking for the driver of this car that crashed into two buildings early this morning. Now, a witness says that they saw this car speeding down Washington Avenue when it then lost control, hit a building, and crashed into the Chanticleer Pizza, which is there near 2nd Avenue North. You can see there is a hole in one of those buildings. The car's driver did get away. Police say that no one was hurt. New this morning, St. Paul police are telling us that the father wanted for leaving his two children, who were both hurt, in a van after a crash has been arrested. This is an update to a story that we first brought you yesterday morning here on 5 Eyewitness News. Our Catherine Johnson is live in St. Paul with the latest. Catherine.
Megan, we're live right where that car crashed into that dip down in the road. You can see how deep that hole is. We're hearing about 8 inches. We measured it ourselves. Pretty deep. Even if your car is going the speed limit here, it's going to do a lot of damage. And overnight, we've been speaking with some family members of those children who were in this crash. One of them even telling us that she's asking whoever called 911 following this crash to come forward. She wants to personally thank them because without that call, police may not have known about this accident since the driver did run following the crash and had disappeared. Now, overnight, we learned that police did arrest Earl Lionel Ward. That's the children's father. Police believe Ward crashed the car into that missing section of pavement and ran, abandoning his kids. When police arrived, they found 8-year-old Amand and his sister Amaria had been ejected from the back seat of the car. The children's aunt tells us Amand has a fractured femur and a severed artery, and that Amaria's injuries are so severe following this crash that she may not ever be able to walk again.
I believe God has the last say in everything. The doctors aren't giving us the greatest, but there's a lot of work to be done, and we're a strong family, so I believe God has the last say, so we'll see.
You very, very seldom hear about a parent leaving the children behind. In this case, he did.
Now, we know that Ward has a long criminal history. He is still in the Ramsey County Jail this morning awaiting charges. We're told once he is charged, those charges could be criminal charges like child endangerment and abandoning the scene of an accident. Live in St. Paul, Catherine Johnson, 5 Eyewitness News.
We are watching as floodwaters continue to recede across the state. It is much needed relief for so many folks, especially those in Stillwater, where today that lift bridge will reopen. We're told that's going to happen around 4 o'clock. It's been shut down since since last week, for more than a week now. High waters, of course, on the St. Croix River, forcing it to close. Meanwhile, we know that FEMA will continue its assessment today of flood damage done in parts of southwest Minnesota. We know that here in the metro, early estimates show that flooding did more than $18 million in damage. We are expecting a request for a presidential disaster declaration to be made next week. We also expect the city of Prior Lake to extend its emergency declaration because of all of the flooding for at least another 30 days, we're told. That announcement is expected during a special city council meeting on the issue at 8:30 this morning. Also this morning, we expect the Minnesota teenager accused of his grandmother's murder to plead guilty. 18-year-old Robert Warwick's attorney tells us that he will plead guilty to first-degree murder while committing a felony. In exchange, prosecutors say they'll drop the premeditated murder charge. And what this does is it allows him the possibility of parole after about 30 years. Now, 2 other teens were also charged in connection to the murder of 79-year-old Lila Warwick a year ago this month. Both teens pled guilty.
6:35 is the time today. The 2 young Wisconsin girls accused of trying to stab a friend to death will be in court. The 12-year-old girls allegedly stabbed their friend 19 times last month. The victim is out of the hospital. Court documents say the girls believe that they'd become agents for this fictional internet character called the Slender Man by killing their friend. Both girls are charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide. They could face up to 60 years in prison. Amid a continuing sex abuse scandal at the Archdiocese of St. Paul, Minneapolis, the Archbishop is now accused of sexual misconduct with priests and seminarians. A former Twin Cities priest accused Archbishop Neinstedt of making unwanted sexual advances last year. The Lay Catholic Journal reported the revelations yesterday. Neinstedt himself agreed to hire an outside law firm to investigate. A whistleblower told the Journal that investigators have received about 10 sworn statements alleging sexual impropriety on part of the Archbishop. Neinstedt says the allegations are absolutely and entirely false. He also says the allegations do not involve minors or implicate any kind of criminal behavior. Still, the church forbids priests and bishops from engaging in sexual activity of any kind. Now, right now, Archbishop Neinstedt is also preparing for a civil trial involving allegations of clergy sex abuse within the Archdiocese. An alleged victim, known only as John Doe 1, is suing the Archdiocese, the Diocese of Winona, and a former priest. John Doe 1 claims that he was abused as a child and that the church failed to take action. Now to a story you'll only see on 5, a public safety concern for the city of Minneapolis.
A city council member says that the shortage of police officers on city streets is very concerning. Our Steve Patterson has been looking into this overnight, joins us now. I would say a lot of people agree, pretty concerning if you're hearing a shortage of officers out there.
The numbers tell a story. There might be a fix, but I don't think it's going to be as quick as a lot of people would like. Public safety, certainly something that no city government wants to compromise, but could a recent rash of retirements be putting that in jeopardy? We've learned that significant overtime was paid to keep Minneapolis police fully staffed in 3 of the department's 5 precincts last month. They'd like to have 850 patrol officers on the streets, but right now they only have about 780. That's 70 shy of where they want to be. Now, a potential factor in all of this, the recent change to the pension program, a decrease in payouts for officers who retired after May 31st of this year that may have contributed to higher amount of retirees than typical. But no matter the cause, Minneapolis' City Council Public Safety Chair says they have got to get those numbers back up as quickly as they can.
Safety to me is the highest of priorities. I mean, that's a basic function of city government, and that's what we need to focus on. And so, I mean, in my perspective, yes, it's a very high priority.
Now, a source within the police department tells us that there have been times during a night shift at one of the precincts where there were only 2 patrolling officers on duty. That being said, a police spokesperson does deny that. We asked, what is the recommended amount that you need to have overnight? They didn't make that information available to us.
And the plan to eventually get the numbers back up, I say eventually, I mean, this is not something that's going to happen quickly.
No, it's not. It takes a while. Now, listen to this. This is a point of optimism, that they have 605 applicants who have entered the cadet program. That can take 27 weeks. After 27 weeks, you could basically apply to be a fully licensed police officer if you pass the appropriate tests. That being said, that's 27 weeks. The city council chair who we were hearing from in that story, he says that could take 12 months, that could take 18 months. Sure. So you like to see that much interest, and hopefully there are a lot of qualified applicants, but it's going to take a while. Meanwhile, they've got that gap of 70 employees, and they're going to have to figure something out, because just doing overtime over the long haul isn't quite the solution anybody wants.
Yeah, you often see this where you get a big hiring wave, and then it's years and years and years where there aren't a lot of positions available, and then you get this, you know, big retirement. So, okay, Steve, thank you. Well, right now, the world's largest plane is at the Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Take a look. This is the Antonov 225. It is set to depart tonight around 9 o'clock after making a stop here in the Twin Cities for a delivery. This is a live look. Let's check it out, shall we? We've received so many emails and phone calls about this plane. We got an email from a guy in Richfield that said, I was sitting on my back deck and I saw this plane fly over and I thought, what on earth? That is the largest plane I've ever seen. And yes, sir, it is. The plane was built back in the 1980s by the then Soviet Union. Antonov, the name of it, means dream in Ukrainian. It's 275 feet long. That's nearly the length of a football field. The wingspan here, 290 feet. It has 6 turbofan jet engines, 32 wheels. The Star Tribune reports that it is here to pick up air conditioning units and then to take them on to the Middle East, but certainly is an impressive sight. We saw one picture where it was actually piggybacking with a space shuttle.
The Russian equivalent of what our space shuttle is. So, I mean, that's a big plane.
That is a big
plane. Workhorse. Kind of like Steve Patterson, really. Workhorse.
As he stands here and looks at himself. Hey, if you are looking for a summer job, the Minnesota State Fair may be the place for you. The jobs that need to be filled just ahead.
And a major cell phone company is accused of cashing in on bogus charges. How it's allegedly gotten away with getting millions of dollars from customers.
And still some patchy drizzle being reported in spots. It's light and it won't last. Skies will still be cloudy at 8, 9, maybe even 10. Slowly the sun breaks out. We head into the 70s, but 90 is in the forecast for the weekend. Coming up.
Listen for Dave Dahl's forecast on KS95.
John Weiss Ford. For 39 years, John Weiss Ford has been taking care of customers in the middle of Minnesota. We'd like the opportunity to earn your business. In the middle of Minnesota. We're in Sauk Center.
8 glasses a day is only good if your water is too. Culligan bottled water is a healthier choice for just pennies a glass. For this special offer, call and say, hey, Culligan man.
Rick. Valley Fair is calling. Connect with the things you love about the park. Save on tickets at valleyfair.com.
We're celebrating the Stars and Stripes with a big 4th of July sale at Ashley Furniture Home Stores. Everything is 20% off, plus get 60 months no-interest financing. Get this new 3-piece living room collection for only $18 per month. Save $460 on the 6-piece bedroom group, only $17 a month. Plus, get a bonus nightstand free. Your choice of 6-piece sectionals with 3 built-in recliners, only $32 a month. Find even more of the styles you love at the prices you live for at your local Ashley Furniture Home Store.
5 years ago, a lot of Minnesotans lost their homes, their life savings, their jobs. One of the main reasons? Wall Street banks were actually paying the credit rating agencies to give AAA ratings to financial products that were junk. The game was rigged. In the Senate, I reached across party lines and led the fight against this scam. Wall Street wasn't happy about that, but I don't work for them. I work for you. I'm Al Franken, and I approve this message.
Cornerstone Commons is a vibrant senior living community serving the western suburbs of the Twin Cities. Our residents thrive on an active social environment at Cornerstone, founded on the Christian faith. Together with Haven Homes, we are dedicated to serving our residents' needs at any stage of their life with excellence, compassion, and respect. For more information or a tour, contact Cornerstone Commons and Haven Homes, serving in the spirit of Christ's love.
People go to great lengths to get better water. There's a better way. Get a Culligan whole home filter for better water at every tap in every room for everyone in your home. Just call.
Hey, Culligan man.
Download the KSTP Severe Weather app. Sponsored by Adams Pest Control.
Hi, everybody. We're back. The time is 6:44, 55 balmy degrees on this July 2nd.
On this May morning.
Is it still sprinkly, drizzly out there? It was kind of like windy this morning. Like as I was driving, I could hear the rain on my windshield.
I thought I saw some snowflakes.
It was like kind of tugging. I was like, what's going on? You're exaggerating.
I can guarantee it wasn't snowflakes.
Okay, good.
But it is Minnesota, so maybe I shouldn't do that. It was drizzling, but it's for the most part done. So,
okay.
Which is the good news. Yeah, look it on the horizon. That's a little blue sliver. Come on, squint. You can see it, Chris.
Yep, it's there somewhere.
It's there. No, right along the bottom of the middle of the screen, the bottom of the sky. There's a little sliver of clearing. That is what's moving in later, folks. It is starting to clear now just north of the Twin Cities. That's the trend that will continue. So even though it's gray out there right now, it is not going to last but for a few hours. Here goes the satellite and the radar loop combined for the last 12 hours. You can see every once in a while little pieces of green going through. Those are little heavier drizzle showers or little showers that move through. But breaks now, as you just saw, hopefully, in that picture showing up in the cloud pattern. So here's the radar. Nothing on it. Whatever's out there is much too light to be detected, and that would be a little bit of drizzle, and that's it. Skies are clearing now. Bright this afternoon, but it will be a little bit on the cool side. Temperatures this morning drop down. These are the lows, 54 in Minneapolis. Everybody in the mid-50s this morning. Right now, it's still in the mid-50s. We haven't budged. It's going to be difficult under the cloud cover and this early for temperatures to move up, but up they will go. Look at the 40s up north. Talk about a chilly start to the day. It's only in the 40s. It almost hit 39 in Bemidji. It was teetering on the upper 30s, but they didn't quite get there. Safe sun scale, believe it or not, looking out your window, you wouldn't believe it, but it is a 7. It may even be an 8 later on today, which means a 7 would be 30 minutes to a sunburn. If it gets to be an 8, it could be down to 15. So 4th of July, that's what you want to know about. Mostly sunny skies, a late night thunderstorm. So it looks like the fireworks will get in. It looks like the day should get in fine, 80 degrees. So the day looks beautiful. It's at night that there may be a thunder, late at night. Off the East Coast, a totally different story. This is Arthur, the brand new tropical storm, the first one of the season. That will be headed up to the north, grazing the Carolinas with heavy rain and some winds. It doesn't look like a disastrous storm by any means, but a lousy weekend, rip currents and all that stuff on the coast. Something you don't want to see. So back home, 73 degrees with clearing after some morning clouds. Doesn't sound so bad. 56 and clear tonight. Here's the weekend forecast. Boy, not looking bad at all. Beautiful tomorrow. I already talked about Friday, the holiday. Saturday, those showers that come in late Friday night that we talked about will be with us again Saturday morning and then move out. That'll leave a Saturday afternoon nice, Sunday nice and hot. How about that? 90. Temperatures staying in the 80s next week. The bright spot? Well, it has to go to the 4th of July. I mean, it is the 4th of July. First of all, America's birthday, but it's also going to be a very nice day. Megan?
All right, sounds good, Ken. 90 degrees. Turning on those ACs again, Josie will need to over the weekend.
Yeah, hopefully it works.
True.
Well, good morning, everyone. We're looking pretty good. Yes, we do have some hot spots, but overall, there's still plenty of areas that are moving just fine. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map. You can definitely see that it's thickening up, 494 and 169, coming down from 94 to Highway 55. Highway 36 is still in relatively good shape as you travel in from Pine Springs to Roseville. The Stillwater Lift Bridge reopens at 4 today, according to MnDOT. That is great news. And also, the detour at Wisconsin 35 south of Holton, that has been lifted. So if you're traveling in that area now, you're good to go. Let's go out to the cameras. A little bit of a hot spot in the West Metro. This is southbound 100 at Highway 55. Just a little traffic stop. Trooper took off a moment ago. But see what happens to traffic. A little bit of flashing lights does a lot. Things are pretty backed up there. Southbound 35W, 95th Avenue in Blaine. That's just starting to fill in. So that's not too tough of a drive yet. And I'll have another update in just a few minutes, Megan.
All right, Josie, we'll check in just a few. New video this morning shows just how intensely this fire in Napa County, California is burning. Mandatory evacuations are in place for about 200 homes in the northern part of the state. So far, this fire has burned 2,700 acres, and at last check, it was only 30% contained. Well, Minnesotans have water to spare right now. California is in desperate need of water. It's gotten so bad, in fact, that 60 cities and agencies have now put mandatory water use cutbacks in place. Now, in some cases, homeowners have to reduce their water usage by as much as 50%. If businesses and homes don't, they could be fined. Meanwhile, in the Central Valley of California, those with water are making millions of dollars auctioning off the reserves to farmers and cities that are running low.
This story is new this morning, an update on a story that we've been following for you for nearly a year. You might remember Elizabeth Brenner. She is the Minnetonka mom suing a Wyoming-based wilderness training academy for the death of her son. He died during a backpacking trip in India that was led by that academy. We've learned that that case will be heard in Wyoming instead of Minnesota. The head of the National Outdoor Leadership School says that it does disclose the risks to students in advance. You might have paid bogus charges on your cell phone bill. Federal regulators say T-Mobile knowingly made millions through alleged fake charges. The complaint filed by the Federal Trade Commission claims that T-Mobile billed its customers for subscriptions to premium tech services like horoscopes that were never authorized by the account holder. The FTC accuses T-Mobile of pocketing 40% of those charges even after learning that the subscriptions were scams. The FTC wants T-Mobile to repay customers. T-Mobile hasn't commented yet on that complaint.
In less than 2 months, we will be celebrating the Great Minnesota Get-Together and all it has to offer. To make sure, though, that it goes off without a hitch, a lot of people are going to have to be hired. Thousands of workers are needed to do everything from serve up the food to run the rides. You do have to be at least 16 years old to apply, and you have to be able to work all 12 days of the fair. It runs August 21st through September 1st. We do have a link to the fair's employment center on our website at KSTP.com if you'd like to apply.
It is 6:51, 55 degrees outside. You have 5 things to know for the day or next.
But later on Good Morning America in about 10 minutes or so. Remember this story that we brought you Monday? Today you're going to hear from the Minnesota National Air Guardsman who pulled a man trapped in this burning car to safety.
Download our mobile app at KSTP.com.
Is it just me, or is all this badass testosterone in here totally hot?
You two, get a room. The stress of being a cop can be murder.
Great. One day before there's an all-out gang war.
Rookie Blue, all new Thursday, 9/8 Central on ABC.
Live's counting down to the 4th.
Who wants cheese on their burger? We gotta get more cheese.
With Liv Tyler and from the Fosters, Maya Mitchell. Next Live.
Today at 9 on 5 Eyewitness News.
I'm going crazy with our huge 4th of July furniture blowout.
I think my mind just exploded.
We should go to Schneiderman's.
Save 30% store-wide during the 4th of July sale at Schneiderman's Furniture. Exactly.
Honda Civic beats Ford Focus. Automatic transmission, standard on Civic, not on Focus. Better gas mileage, more passenger room, rear view camera, standard on Civic, not even available on Focus. And Civic costs less than Focus. Civic now just $159 a month lease. And Honda wins Kelley Blue Book Awards for most trusted, best overall, and best value brand again. Test drive Civic today and see why. Honda Civic beats Ford Focus. Civic now just $159 a month lease at your Honda dealer. Shop Honda.com.
I'm Lori, and I've lost 85 pounds at the Coon Rapids MetaFest Center. I've gone from a size 24 to a size 10. Professionally, I feel since losing all the weight, people are much more focused on my abilities versus my weight. I've lost 85 pounds, and I couldn't feel better, and I owe it all to the Coon Rapids MetaFest Center. Don't hesitate, call now. It worked for me, and it can work for you too.
Why wait any longer? You want a new you, and you want results. So do we, and we're here to help. Start today. It's not a miracle, it's MetaFast.
All right, we've done a full inspection, and here's your estimate.
Measurement complete.
Front brakes? That's all I need?
At NTB, we only service what you need. Now get a summer price break. Buy 3, get 1 free with paid installation. Buy 3 select tires, get the 4th free instantly. Plus special financing for a limited time. Buy 3, get 1 free. NTB Tire and Service Centers. That's all you need.
At GMC, incredible thinking comes first. Like the GMC Sierra, the first pickup to offer a powerful gas V8 engine that gets an EPA estimated 23 highway miles per gallon. The first to offer an innovative cargo bed with LED lighting. And now, for the first time ever, during the GMC Independence Day event, pay no interest for 5 years. Plus, add $1,000 Independence Day cash for the best financing offer this year on a 2014 GMC Sierra 1500. But hurry, this limited time offer ends Monday.
We should go to Schneiderman's.
Totally.
Get a free box spring and 48-month special financing with every Sealy hybrid mattress during the 4th of July sale at Schneiderman's Furniture. Exactly.
Now here's a look at your 5 things to know. Minneapolis police are looking for the driver of this car that crashed into 2 buildings early this morning. Witnesses say the car was speeding down Washington Avenue. No one was hurt. Overnight, we've learned that the father wanted for leaving his 2 children, both seriously hurt after a crash yesterday morning, has now been arrested. We're told that Earl Ward is in jail and could face numerous charges. Great news for folks in Stillwater. The lift bridge there is set to open today at 4 o'clock after being closed for more than a week because of high waters on the St. Croix River. Different story, however, in Prior Lake this morning. We expect the city to extend its disaster declaration by at least 30 days because of all that flooding.
Wow.
The world's largest aircraft, the Antonov 225, will take off tonight from Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. Look at how big that thing is compared to that van right down below one of its giant.
Look at the guy walking in the front.
So, yes, there you go.
He's tiny.
That'll happen at 9 o'clock. So there you go. 5 things to know for the day.
Wow.
32 wheels on that thing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool to see. Hard to believe it gets up in the air. Speaking of up in the air, we have a lot of gray skies out there. Don't worry about it. Those skies are going to clear. It'll turn out to be a beautiful day. 73 likewise tomorrow. Beautiful and 76. All day long on Friday the 4th should be good. Actually, very nice. 80 degrees. Any thunder threat looks like it'll be after midnight Friday till about noon on Saturday. But every other time looks dry. And by Sunday, it gets downright hot with a high near 90.
Now you're turning things up on us.
Yeah, it's going to feel like the 4th of July.
All right, Ken, thank you. And our final look at traffic this morning. Hi.
Well, hi, we're actually not moving too bad out there. There are some busy routes, but let's take a look at the map and you'll still see that there's plenty of green. 394 Minnetonka to downtown. The 494 Bloomington stretch isn't too bad yet. If you're traveling into Eagan, though, highways 55 and 149 with the lane restrictions, we are seeing some headaches there. And no surprise in the South Metro on 169 northbound at 101. It's getting pretty backed up, and anytime we see some delays there, that also affects Highway 13 getting on to northbound 169. So that's where you're going to need some extra time this morning, guys.
All right, Josie, thank you.
Hope you can join us over on 45 TV. We have more local news for 2 more hours. Otherwise, Good Morning America is up next right here. And, of course, all the news online when it happens, KSTP.com.
Have a great morning.